Eventually, every discussion of rhetoric ends up at the word enthymeme. Enthymemes are important, and we'll talk about them in a bit. But first, let's look at the second half of the word, meme. What is a meme? The word meme was coined by Richard Dawkins in 1976. Before he became a full-time internet troll, Richard Dawkins was a radical evolutionary biologist who proposed that genes were the key actors in evolution. He set out this theory in The Selfish Gene, which also included a brief discussion of his theory that cultural artifacts and information passed themselves along in a way similar to genes. He argued that memes replicate themselves by means of imitation. Memes take the form of cultural traditions and iconography, music and songs, and everyday symbols. More recently, there's been a growing interest in what's been termed internet memes. These are images, artifacts, and snippets of text that seem designed to spread themselves. Many theorists refer to the phenomenon of internet memes as viral culture. Others have less positive views of internet memes. Some of the most popular internet memes involve cats. Icon has cheeseburger. Grumpy cat. And Nyan cat. This is not to say that memes and cats are somehow inherently linked, just that cats are cute and people respond to them. More importantly, people pass them along, and in passing them along, often slightly tweak the text or the image. It is this imitation that is key to their spread. Earlier I mentioned that cats are cute. This is, of course, a cultural concept. In other cultures, cats are pests, or even food. And this is where memes and enthymemes intersect. People only spread things that they respond to. So internet memes that spread widely are the ones that most effectively intersect with the cultural beliefs and ideas and expectations of the people spreading them. In other words, successful memes are those that align best with the cultural expectations and logic of a community, the logos of that community, the belief that certain things are just reasonable or logical or universal, appeals to logic or reason or expectations or what everybody knows or logos, and they operate by means of enthymemes. In English, enthymeme includes the word meme, but that's a little bit cheating because they aren't really from the same root. Instead, enthymeme comes from words meaning within the mind or consider. It's reasoning tied to argumentation and to cause and effect, even when the cause and effect isn't explicitly stated. Enthymemes are often called truncated syllogisms. Syllogisms are a tool of logic that include a minor premise, a major premise, and a conclusion. Classic example is all men are mortal, major. Socrates is a man, minor. Therefore Socrates is mortal, conclusion. Enthymemes treat one of the premises as assumed. So the Socrates syllogism becomes much simpler. Syllogisms and enthymemes are part of formal logic, but more importantly, they're part of our everyday existence in the world. Even the dude reasons via enthymeme. So if enthymemes and memes aren't connected linguistically, what is the connection? Some of the most popular internet memes are, in fact, enthymemes. They only make sense within a certain cultural understanding of the world, a certain logos. Whoever it was who created the first I can has internet macro also created a grammar and a certain understanding of what a correct meme of this form is. The humor and much of the message of memes depends upon its audience sharing an understanding of the world and the proper behavior within. Memes also reflect larger cultural narratives of gender, class, race. At the same time that memes play off shared understandings of the world, they also reinscribe certain narratives into the world. Narratives that can be positive and those that can be damaging. These images supply an easily accessible and reusable and manipulable shorthand for discourse. For active internet users and members of certain internet communities, juxtaposing these two images, Good Guy Greg on the left and Angry Islam Boy on the right, communicates far more than the fairly simplistic text. Each of these images builds their message upon certain expectations of and assumptions about masculinity, religion, culture, and proper behavior. The creators of these kinds of images depend upon the reader or viewer to provide the missing premises. For example, Good Guy Greg depends upon cultural understandings of what a good guy is. Typically, these involve keeping to oneself, withholding judgment, and supporting without asking for recognition. Similarly, the image on the right depends upon cultural understandings of Muslim behavior and a dismissal of the validity of the rage about the Muhammad cartoons. Internet memes are often dismissed as mere cultural detritus or play. However, they represent a very powerful tool and an easily accessible way for students to begin reflecting upon how rhetoric shapes the world around them. Questions like these can help students begin to unpack these often semiotically rich creations. The final question can be useful for instructors interested in exploring the conversation metaphor at the center of the Blue Gold seminar. Because memes spread by imitation, they are naturally and necessarily intertextual. Here's an example. Who Needs Feminism was a project created by 16 Duke students in 2012 that has quickly spread around the world. It generally takes the form of people holding signs describing briefly why they need feminism. It has also sparked quite a few offshoots, variants, and parodies. Recently, a Tumblr named Women Against Feminism has appeared. It mimics the original Who Needs Feminism approach, only the women are holding signs saying why they don't need feminism. Many of the Women Against Feminism signs represent particular misunderstandings or misstatements of feminist beliefs. This sparked the creation of yet another Tumblr, Confused Cats Against Feminism. It always comes back to cats online. This Tumblr draws upon not just Who Needs Feminism and Women Against Feminism, but also the popular dog-shaming site, and include pictures of cats with signs around their necks declaring why they don't need feminism. Once again, these memes are depending upon enthymematic reasoning. In this case, the belief shared by participants in the Confused Cats project that the Women Against Feminism don't actually understand what they're talking about. It has also sparked critique because supporters of Women Against Feminism believe that the CATS site is saying that women are animals or subhuman, a charge that the creator and several active participants have actively been arguing against. So, even though enthymemes and memes are not linguistically related, I think you can see that there's a lot of power in linking the two investigations. Internet memes represent a very visible and accessible example of enthymematic reasoning and can help students understand how the shared values of an audience determine what is considered to be logical or reasonable or appropriate. Eventually, every discussion of rhetoric